Welcome back to another episode of Untold Physio Stories. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. E with Modern Manual Therapy, Edge Mobility System, The Eclectic Approach, and UpDoc Media. And as always, my good friend and co-host.
Jason Shane from Shane Physiotherapy.
This is a special Untold Physio Stories. I just posted on Instagram Live story today that I'm hanging out with Jason for the first time in 3 years.
It's been a long
If
time.
you guys have ever doubted that we're friends, here's proof.
In person.
In person.
And,
This is not some kind of green screen special effect.
no, and I should say, the reason why we are so close is we have a phone on a tripod balanced on a suitcase that is probably 4 feet away from us because of this room.
We just chose this because we're close in proximity, and that is just like symbolic of our friendship.
Oh man. Okay, story. 10 minutes. What's the keeping it?
10 minutes.
So once again, I have no idea why you gave me a quick preamble.
I gave you what led up to the story.
You gave me what led up to the story,
Okay.
but I don't know the story.
Yeah. And I can't say what led up to the story because it would be a violation of privacy. But I had a gentleman referred to me who is an older physio. So I am probably 99.999% sure this guy has never heard of pain science.
We did a podcast on that one.
He's very pathoanatomical, total old school physio. And I've known him for almost my entire career. Very good guy, and I have not seen him honestly in maybe 15 to 17 years. So the first part of this story, I guess, now to get your opinion on this, is when he called me, he said, I'm having some gait disturbances, and I had a fusion, and I have what I think is a lateral shift, and the surgeon tells me that I can't possibly have a lateral shift because the hardware took and the surgery was successful.
Got it.
So, I mean, what I didn't even see him yet at this point.
Well, my first thought is that even if he had a fusion of like L4, L5, there happens to be another, I don't know, few vertebrae that could still tilt to the side.
Right. My thought was the arrogance of a surgeon.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Like, how arrogant do you have to be to tell someone that they're not shifted because you corrected some segments?
Got it. I like that. I like that.
Like, only a surgeon would tell a patient that they're not shifted.
Yes.
So when he walks in, I mean, again, I haven't seen him in a long time. He's probably definitely a lot thinner than he used to be. His side, that was his involved side, very atrophied leg.
Mm-hmm.
He had no symptoms. He only was seeing me for gait disturbance and loss of balance, which he noticed progressively worsening over the past year. He's seeing some good PTs, doing a lot of core stuff, some vestibular stuff, a lot of balance work.
Okay.
But his main complaint was, I'm having increasing difficulty loading my left side.
Could you see it in his gait?
Yes, absolutely. And also, he would be what I would at least call, you can't really quantify this, a moderate lateral shift. I mean, it might even be a severe lateral shift. He had a significant lateral shift.
You could see it.
Anyone could see it. It was so shifted, and I'm going to be sharing a video of him because he signed my media waiver.
Yeah.
He's sharing a video of him of how I corrected this. But it doesn't. He didn't only have a fusion of L5S1. I thought I heard him wrong initially. Yeah. He had a fusion from T7 to S1.
T7 to S1. You don't get to normally see this type of reaction. T7 to S1.
And still shifted.
Wow. Wow.
So obviously I'm not going to correct this shift. Right? But I just think that's even worse now that the surgeon told him he can't possibly be shifted because he shifted despite being fused.
Wow.
That many segments. It's not like he shifted from T6 and above.
People, you don't get T7 S1 is like, do you want to touch like approximately?
Yeah, it's like approximately
from there
mid back
down
to here to the top of your tailbone. Wow. So no possible movement of those vertebrae, and yes, he significantly shifted. And one of the things that really stood out in his history was he told me, I feel like I can load and weight this side a lot better when I'm carrying 25 pounds on this side.
Okay.
So you know how much I love farmers
I
carries.
know how much you love farmers
Yeah,
carries.
and granted, he also had very significant ankle mobility and hip mobility issues on this side.
Okay.
Okay, so those are
Lack of,
also,
obviously.
yes, that may be another reason why he can't accept load.
Hmm?
So initially, my first thing were if someone is shifted to the right, I would probably try loading on the right to activate the left. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. When you're talking loading, I'm thinking like a lateral correction shift, where normally you try to like go
No,
the
I mean
opposite.
like if
But
the
you're talking
weight is
actual
on this
weight loading.
side,
I understand.
then you're going to activate your
Yes.
core and your glute on the side to pull you to
Yep.
the left.
Contralateral side or opposite
Yes,
side. Yep. Absolutely.
and I've done that to correct other shifts, and it's worked well. But this because he was so unsteady,
Hmm.
it made his gait less steady by
Interesting.
putting it on the right.
Okay.
So initially, and you'll see this video that I'm sharing later too. I have him walk without his cane because he walks much better with a cane, but he doesn't walk with a cane when a cane. He wants to get back to golf, et cetera, et cetera, et
Yep.
cetera. Because after his fusion 7 years ago, he got back to golf in full function and he was able to run again.
Oh, sorry. This is the piece of the puzzle I didn't realize. I figured the fusion was quite recent.
No, fusion was 7 years ago. He went back to full function, golf, running, everything.
So he was asymptomatic for years.
Yes,
Oh,
he's still
okay.
asymptomatic. He just notices that he has significant loss of balance and weakness in his leg.
But he didn't have that initially.
I don't know if the atrophy was always there, but I think the atrophy is getting worse, or at least
And
he
the
can't do
issues with
anything.
gait weren't there initially, probably
No,
either.
no.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Significant loss of balance within the
Yeah.
past 12 months,
Okay.
or at
Perfect.
least over the winter. He said.
Okay. Hmm.
So how I did it is let's see your gait without the cane. Let's see your gait with the cane.
Mm-hmm.
See your gait with the kettlebell on this side. Then when after I did a little ankle mobs and a little hip mobs, he said he felt like he was able to put quite a bit more load on this side.
Okay.
Then I had him carry on the left.
Yeah.
And he doesn't actually look steadier in the video, but he's walking quite a bit faster. And subjectively, he felt obviously that he was weighting that side a
Yeah.
bit
Okay.
more.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I had him do a farmer's carry 25 pounds on the left.
Hmm.
And walk with the cane, and that's when he was like the most upright because the cane enables him to push like away from into the shift a little bit to
Yep.
correct it
Yep.
and load this side. Plus the weight was making him actually physically load that side.
That's the video I'd like to see.
But then the last pieces I did was because he's a PT or physio, the cane was actually measured to him. You know, it's supposed to be measured to the fold of your wrist.
Yeah. It wasn't measured right.
No, it was measured
Okay, yeah,
correctly.
okay,
So
yeah.
I just thought, hey, is this measured correctly? And I checked, and it was.
Yeah.
So I raised it. I moved it down another notch to make him even more like this.
Oh, got it.
He's
You made it longer.
Yes. And I said, look, as long as you're not hiking your shoulder,
Yeah.
this is pushing. And he walked even better that way.
Oh my goodness.
So ultimately, his thing was, hey, I want you to do kettlebell carries. So he said, this makes me feel better when I walk unilaterally with the weight here.
Mm.
But he wasn't doing with the dosage.
Yeah.
So I skipped all the pain signs and everything because he's still talking to me about carpal moves and whatever. He's talking about old cases. And he's talking to me about the convex concave.
Even being in person,
It's worse in person.
I'm not quite
Convex
sure.
concave.
Yeah.
He's talking about old school things like that I would never talk about now.
Okay.
So I didn't even bother with the pain science or anything like that. I just told him it's all about the dosage and a lot of these things that you're doing. I just think that you're not doing the right thing. And he saw a couple of old school manual therapists, one of them whom was a mentor of my mentor, former president of the AOMPT. And I can't say who.
Let's not go down that road anymore.
But it wasn't him. It was one of his proteges who worked with him.
Okay.
And he said, "Oh, I think you need to do treadmill on weighting." I was like, "Look, maybe if you had symptoms, and maybe that was a good idea at some point. But if your goal is to load, unloading is not going to get you to loading."
Well said.
Right. So
that's a good quote. If your goal is to load, unloading is not going to get you to
stop with
that
the traction already, people.
I like that. Okay.
So I gave him that for home, and the last thing for home, and I can say, because I actually have the camera here, I'm going to probably be cut off, but I would also have him just hold the weight and then just shift to the side, just so he's like further loading. And I described it to him as, you're always like abducted, so let's A deduct
Yeah, for sure.
the hip. And I said, think about, not necessarily moving the ball in the socket, move the socket over the ball this way.
Pretty sure you're even closer now. I'm slowly moving to this side. I'm just giving him a
I
hard
know.
time. You guys
I know.
gotta
Did I
see
have
this.
onions tonight for dinner?
Uh,
All
yeah.
right, so I don't even know how long
Wait,
I
so what
waited.
happened?
I only saw him once, but he did follow up.
Oh, no.
He followed up. Well, it was only 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't know it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I have no idea when these stories are. Somebody tell me stories from 15
I
years
do.
ago.
No, it was only a couple weeks ago. He reached out a couple of days later, which I always ask people to text me, email me
Yeah.
after a couple of days and give me a better, worse, or no change.
Hmm.
And granted, this is such a long-standing thing. I didn't
Yeah.
expect a huge change, but he said that he felt his gait was more steady. He felt subjective improvement, and he was
Hmm.
very happy.
Oh, perfect. Well,
I mean, and we're following up when I get home from this.
we will talk about it in our podcast.
Right. It
Unfortunately,
won't be like some other things where I
it
never
won't be
follow up
like
again.
this.
But sometimes people don't call me back. I don't know why. He's a nice guy. How can
How?
people find you?
Oh my. Now you got to see my reaction. He's so eclectic and has so many different options. And I only have like a couple things to follow. I feel like
Don't feel bad.
I need more. I need to
Just make it up. Just make up more social
just
media.
make more social media that people can go to that doesn't exist. Okay. How can people find you on social media?
Follow me on your social media platform of choice, modmt.com/Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter. Subscribe via email to our blog, Modern Manual Therapy blog at themanualtherapist.com, so you don't miss any of our almost daily blog updates. Get exclusive Edge Mobility System coupons. Check out edgemobilitysystem.com, our e-store, which has ISTM, fitness products, BFR, a full BFR cert. We sell Doppler ultrasounds, full online courses, and more. And also, of course, thanks to UpDoc Media for hosting. Make sure you rate us 5 stars on iTunes, whether you like us or not. And how can I find you,
Both
Jason?
courses in person.
And check out the Eclectic Approach. I hope to see you at the Eclectic Approach course soon. And we're launching Modern Patient Education soon, a brand new Eclectic Approach
I'm looking forward to that.
seminar. Yeah.
For me, Jason Shane. 2 easy ways. Shane Physiotherapy, my website, Facebook, or Instagram. So I have 3. I'm catching up. I might branch out to something else.
Nice, nice. I
Thanks.
make like 3 websites a month.
Yeah, I'm never going to catch up. Thanks for watching, everybody.
See ya.